Hey, happy day 61 of the BP challenge, blood pressure challenge for me, health or lifestyle challenge, or maybe even a business challenge for you. Day 61, meaning we're 2/3 of the way there. And hopefully you're feeling that you're making some progress, you're making momentum. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel because we're on our last 29 days of the challenge. If you are struggling or having problems in any way, hit me up in the comments below or direct message me. Do not struggle. Do not get what you want because of some little thing, some little hurdle, some little question you might have that you need answered. Just ask. Now, we're going to continue our discussion about water today. Yesterday, I said, hey, challenge today is pay attention to how much water you drink. Now, I drank a whole lot of water yesterday, and I drank only water yesterday, and you know what happened? I got a an absolutely positively killer headache, and like a migraine headache, and had to lay down because I'm used to having caffeine in the form of coffee every day, and I broke my coffee pot, so I thought, oh, this is a great way and a great day to go ahead and drink a bunch of water. So I drank a bunch of water, which helped me to detox quickly, but it also, boom, hit me up with a really bad headache because I do drink generally coffee every day, usually 4 or so cups of coffee every day, and going cold turkey no coffee yesterday definitely played a number on my head. So that is what I mean by a reaction. That is what I mean by, maybe it's not a positive reaction. I wouldn't consider yesterday a positive reaction, but it's a reaction. So I now have learned something very important about myself. I don't want to go cold turkey and switch to lemon water and regular bottles of water and not have any coffee at all. We'll talk about coffee tomorrow since it came up today. But the importance of water. Now, I learned some tricks after my sudden cardiac arrest from my dad, who also had heart challenges. A couple things happen when you have a heart event, which I wasn't expecting and had never really noticed. But up until the point of my cardiac arrest, I always ate ice, a ton of ice. I always had ice in my pop, and I drank a lot of pop, remember, before my cardiac arrest. So I always loved ice. My daughter's first word was ice when she was a baby. And so that tells you ice is something that had always been a really big part of my life. And after that heart event, I could no longer tolerate ice. I couldn't tolerate anything cold. Now, I personally blamed the freezing effect, the fact that I had been frozen and thawed out to help prevent brain damage and organ damage and everything whenever you have a heart event. But my dad, who'd had heart surgeries and he'd actually had heart attacks and strokes before, he found the same thing after his open heart surgery for bypass and things. He couldn't stand ice anymore either. But he also learned the importance of drinking more water. And he taught me a trick that I use to this day when I know that I'm not paying attention and I'm not drinking enough water. And it's what got me to originally start drinking more water. He said, you take a glass that you like or a cup that you like, and I use this one right now because I've packed away my very favorite cup from our old cabin. It's a little cup with orange ladybugs and leaves and dots on it that just makes me smile every time I see it because it reminds me of the great times we had at the cabin. So what you do is you take that glass and in the morning you fill it up with water. And then you put it in a place that you're going to walk by often, or it's in your traffic pattern. Now, if you work at home like I do, if you live are at home a lot, that works. But you can do the same thing at work. You put it on your desk, or you put it in a place where you're going to be. And every time you see or every time you notice it, you just take a drink of water. And then you go about your business, and then when you walk by or you do it again, you take another drink of water. And every time you empty the cup, you fill it up again. Now, my dad was a 3M'er, so of course Post-its were a big part of his life. So what he would do, and what I did with note cards or Post-its or whatever I happen to have, or a tablet, you can use a little tablet, is I would put a little hatch mark on a little line on a piece of paper every time I refilled my glass so that I could see how much I was consuming. And some days I would drink, 10 or 12 of them. Some days I would drink 6 or 7. And my goal was always to drink 8 every day. Every day I wanted to have 8 cups of water. Why 8 cups of water? Because I read a bunch of stuff and studied a bunch of stuff and figured out that there's all kinds of complicated formulas to figure out how much water you should drink. But I actually just would pay, this is kind of gross, but I would pay attention to what color my urine was. If my urine was super duper yellow or bright yellow, I wasn't drinking enough water. If it was not yellow, a very faint yellow or white, then I knew I was drinking plenty of water. That was my litmus test to tell. And so nowadays, and that's a really good sign. It's a really good way to now know if I'm not drinking enough water. If I go to the bathroom and it's super duper yellow, I know that I'm not drinking enough water, and I'll go have a couple glasses of water, because I've gotten to the point where I don't need to leave the cup around and the little hatch marks on the Post-it note. But that was the way that I actually trained myself to make sure I was getting enough water. That's how I originally did it. That's what I recommend if you're not a water drinker. If you drank, 5 or less glasses of water yesterday when you were paying attention to how much water you consume, excuse me, I would encourage you to try this. Just set a glass of water in your traffic pattern, put a little piece of paper by it with a pen, and every time you drink a glass and refill it, put a little hatch mark. And do that until you get up to 8 a day. And then when you get up to like 8, or if you think you need more, then do more. But when you get up to the number that feels right to you, and you've done it for a little bit of time, and you feel like it's become a habit, then you can stop doing the paper and stop doing the hatch mark. I'll tell you right now, every once in a while, I will get in a phase where I'm not drinking enough water, and I will just pick it right up again for a day or so. It usually only takes me a day or two, and then I'm right back at getting the right amount of water for me again. So that's your challenge today, is figure out a way that you're going to get enough water for you. Now, again, if you want more detail on this, you can just Google, what's the right amount of water for me, and it'll do a height and weight and age thing, and you can get super complicated on it. But I say 8 glasses of water a day is pretty much great for everyone. It's a good place to start, and then you can go and get more complicated and tweak based on how you feel, and how much detail and how much scientific evidence and how much proof you need of how to figure out the exact formula for you. Then you can go and you can look into that and do it. It's a little bit deep for this particular challenge and exercise. So just do the hatch mark, the cup, 8 cups a day, and see how you feel. I challenge you to do that from now until the end of this challenge. It's only 29 days, but I guarantee if you feel better, you'll keep doing it after the 29 days, because it is the foundation of our existence. It's the foundation of our physical bodies and of our lives, and that's why one of the reasons water is so important. If you have any questions about this, hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, start drinking your water today, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow. And I already said, we're already going to talk about coffee and other beverages, because that's going to be what comes up next, at least for my BP challenge. Have an amazing day. If I can help you, hit me up in the comments below. Do not be afraid to ask. There's no reason that anybody should be struggling with this challenge. No matter what your challenge is, there is a process to use to overcome it. And so that's what I'm here for. Catch you tomorrow. Bye.